I was intrigued by the Michael Richards comeback tour. So he's got a book out, and he talks about getting like diddled as a child and stuff. But the main thing everyone wants to ask him about is his night at the Laugh Factory 18 years ago, something like that, 2006, 2007.
Oh,
And
what
it's
was so
amazing.
special about that night?
Well,
Papa John only had to put up with this for 4 years.
that's exactly right, David. Yeah, it's enough already. Forgive Michael Richards. Well, here's what's weird about
That's good.
it's been 18 years or not, whatever it's been. And Michael Richards still has the same tone that he had on Letterman the night after it happened. It's crazy. It's like Michael, Larry David did a brilliant job explaining why you've paid for your sins on Curb Your Enthusiasm. Like, he really did a good job of saying, like, this man's not necessarily a racist. He was just fucking angry. Chappelle defended you. A bunch of comics defended you. Your punishment is over. You know, like, it's time to end this sad sack routine. And it's crazy because he has it in every fucking interview that he does. Watch it. So we have him on The View and the Today Show. What are we starting with?
We're starting with the Today Show. This one's called Anger.
Okay, so he's talking about that anger, and it's like 18. If you've never seen, we talked about it on Why Are You Laughing, but if you've never seen the clip of him on Letterman where Seinfeld's like, "Stop laughing, it's not funny," it's wild. But
it's the greatest ever Letterman ever.
It's the greatest apology ever, the greatest Seinfeld appearance. It's the greatest of a lot of things. But what's crazy about it, like, is his approach, but like, it's the night after it happened. And people in the audience didn't even know what was going on yet because it's just before smartphones. So, and it was like one of the first viral videos, really. It was one of the first like celebrities getting caught on camera that just went crazy the next night. So like, I understand Michael Richards not knowing how to deal with it. 2 decades later, you probably should have gotten a grip on how to respond when people ask you about this.
We haven't seen you in many, many years, and you're out now with a book. And we should just get this part, I think, out of the way, because the reason that you have been out of the spotlight was because of something that happened back in 2006, and it happened at a comedy club, and they called it a big racist rant, which it was, and you sort of disappeared.
Look at Cuckold Richards. He can't be like, well, no, I'm actually not a racist. He's like, yes, absolutely. I'm a bad boy, and you should punish me. Still, 20 years later.
And you gotta love the producers meeting. Who should we have interview Michael Richards? And they all look over at her.
She's like, fine.
Yeah, I'll do it. Fine.
He's not going to call me the N-word.
Work since then. How are you different today than you were on that day?
Oh, the difference. Probably more aware.
He is Kramer. Kramer is poor. The difference. He's Kramer mixed with like a Shakespearean actor. But it's bizarre, like, this performance that he's doing, because it's been 18 years. Michael Richards has coped with it. He's dealt with it in his head. It's not as fresh as it was that night on Letterman. You can move on from that tone. Where, the difference. Oh, yes. Oh, that word.
He could have had a whole...
Every Thanksgiving, someone has to bring it up. Now he's back on this tour.
Right.
He could have had a whole child that was born, went to college, and now could explain this thing better than him.
I think he does. On that Jesse Waters interview, he referred to his young kid. So,
Jesus. Here we go.
Aware of myself, anger, looking at it very closely. It's something that's always with us, certainly with me. Not as horrible as it was 18 years ago. You didn't shoot anyone,
Michael. You said 50 years ago they would have been upside down with a pitchfork up their asses. A little crazy, but you've paid. You've reaped what you've sown.
Yeah, it seems like he's serving Jared Fogel's time or something. Like, you
yes,
didn't do anything bad, bro. I mean, but it's over.
It's the same tone that Sandusky had on the phone with Bob Costas.
Yes.
Anger had a hold of me, and I canceled myself out.
You canceled yourself.
Take an exodus.
Yeah.
get away from show business and see what the heck is going on inside me.
Yeah.
To have been so despicable that night.
Yeah, we remember
losing
from
my
the Letterman
cool.
thing. We remember. It's
Honestly,
18 years later.
and I gotta say, it robbed us because Michael Richards is one of the funniest character actors there's ever been, and we missed 20 years of shows he could have been in and movies.
Yeah,
He's
maybe.
self-canceled, you know.
He was very good in Curb, but it's also like maybe the offers weren't coming because like everyone sees you as Kramer, and it would be tough to find work. Like it's not like Jason Alexander's been crushing it in that time, you know.
No, not at all.
He wasn't going to be the next Ant-Man, that's for sure.
And hurting.
Did you make amends? Do all the things that you know? Did you feel like you said you were sorry and you did all the things that you should have done?
No. In 18 years,
so,
I've still been just no one's talked about it, but I've been shouting the N-word out my car window.
I'm sorry,
Ever
man.
since
Maybe you have never heard of a little show called Letterman.
They did an episode about this on Curb. Why is this poor bastard still being dragged like this? Just talk about it honestly, Michael. But you don't have to have this. The difference. Oh God, the sins that I have committed. Oh my.
Certainly getting to a place where I could forgive myself because I have to move on.
You know what he's Kramer. If you've ever seen the episode, he's Kramer acting as gonorrhea.
Yes.
The pain and yearning. Much like the pain I suffer during urination.
To be true blue about
Sure.
that.
All right, that's the end of the.
All right. So that was Michael Richards' first interview back. She says, like, hey, we haven't seen you in a while. So I understand him, knocking the rust off a little bit. Surely he's bolstered his confidence once he makes it to the ladies of The View.
Yes, he makes it to The View, pulling that up right now. And
It's going to be tough with Sonny Hostile there.
Nice shot, David. Topical. I like it.
all right, here we go.
Well, I'm so happy that you're here. And let me just start by saying, I don't believe in cancel culture. I believe in consequence culture. And you've paid a lot of consequences.
That's a way of just polishing up a turd and saying, like, I don't want to ruin someone's life, but I do if they deserve it, kind of.
Yeah, they found another one to interview him. They're just, hey, everyone, we got Michael Richards coming. Can you send the minorities up? We got to do an interview. Come on.
And they know Whoopi can't do it because she'll be like, oh, I said the Holocaust didn't happen, so don't worry.
And so let's go to your infamous racial tirade on stage at the Laugh Factory back in 2006. We all saw that. It went viral. You were being heckled.
Blind Mike, you can't see this, but his eyes are closed and he's in a deep contemplation about what you did 18 years ago.
Yes, the N-word that I said. I can picture it now like it was yesterday. Oh, the anger that flowed through me.
That's exactly the face he's making right now.
Pulled by some black audience members, and you responded with racial slurs.
I can see those Never mind, I'm not going to do it. I've learned.
I can see them right now.
How do you deal with hecklers these days?
What a great question, David. Oh, what a great question.
You're a person of color, and I see and value you. But please stop talking.
Don't get me started on the queers.
Just what were you thinking? What happened?
Yeah. Well,
Jerry. He should have slid into the room when he did this. Well.
Or just did that twitch that Kramer did when she asked it, like twitched out real quick.
Giddy up.
with a microphone in my hand, doing an act, breaking in material. It's late at night. And man in the audience.
I won't describe him.
What color of man?
All I saw was a man.
Made an announcement that I'm not funny.
Uh-oh.
He doesn't think I'm very funny, and
boy, did he pay.
I came back. Now, first, I must say...
I
came
came
back-
proud.
I came
We
back
all
with-
pride in that comeback.
I came back with 400 years of anger.
All I could see were eyes and teeth out there.
So I knew what I was up
I'm
against.
not a normal man.
Or any of us?
Well, you're a comedian.
No, but I mean,
First
as
of
a
all.
comedian,
Yeah.
you got it.
Yeah.
You got it. Yeah. There's a
Michael
lot
Richards'
of
vibe is like,
eccentricity.
hey, don't laugh. Don't have any fun with this. Really angrily call me a racist.
And put this ball gag in my mouth while you do it, please.
Yeah, spank me and call me a bad boy, Joy. Don't let me have fun up here. Joy Behar's trying to bail him out. You're a comedian, Michael.
My kind of comedy. And certainly I could never have created a character like Kramer without being slightly touched. So I went into character.
You know how
and,
Kramer always had a
I
wacky
work in a-
scheme? That was like me shouting the worst racial slur at a man.
Comedy club environment where the N word is used a lot. And I decided I would let it loose. And
It's not used anymore.
Like, you want to come after
Those days
me?
are
You should
over.
really hear what fucking Eddie Griffin is saying. This menace has to be stopped.
Contrary to the advice that Cosby gave me, I went for it.
for me, they certainly are,
everybody.
yeah. By the way, cancel culture, I canceled myself out.
Yes, you did.
I'm on board with cancel culture, everybody. Michael Richards has the vibe. The only other time I've seen something like this is the man is usually wearing a mask and watching his wife get fucked on Pornhub. Michael
cucking
Richards
comedy.
is just the cuckiest vibe, where he's like, "Oh boy, did I step in it, guys? You can do whatever you want to me. Fill my holes."
He says, no. Your parents probably don't even remember, but still, blame me for it. It happened before smartphones, but please, just
The elderly don't remember, and the young never knew it happened.
no. Let me describe in great detail what I did.
I'm out of there.
stepped
When
away.
that rage came about, and
There was
I'm
rage.
well,
Someone
sure.
saying you're not funny.
Yeah, and the rage is channeled into a character.
It sounds
I
like
am
she's about like
trying-
she's poking him with. She's like, "Someone saying you're not funny, huh? What if someone called you ugly and stupid?"
It would have been the greatest Seinfeld ever, though, if like Kramer would have gone and done a night of stand-up and this had happened, and then the fallout happens on Seinfeld. Would have been fucking great.
Jerry, they had it coming.
form in my own way at first, and that got me deeper into hell. That's not a right word to use, is it? Well, I felt
Michael
I
has
got hit.
reflected on this for 2 decades, and he has determined I probably shouldn't have said that word.
But like a madman, only to himself. Now he's saying it out loud, and he's really panicking.
Like that's the thing is like Larry David essentially absolved him of these sins. We watched that episode and we're like, "All right, Michael, you're forgiven," and still he's like, "No, I've been incredibly naughty."
Here's the whip. Whip me some more, sir.
Does he want to work?
So-
Does he want to get back into the industry? Is that what's happening here?
I think it's a little late for that at this point.
He's selling a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see.
I'm hitting back.
Yeah.
That person went low. I'm going lower. And I'm very emotional about it. You see, I can still, after 18 years, you can
Still want to call him? Oh, never mind.
But this is the passion that I am. Maybe it's because I'm Italian. Maybe
You are?
Yeah.
Boy, what a
excuse.
another nasty stereotype. Well, maybe it's because I'm a violent dago that I threw these.
Matt Reese, I got an opening act for you on your Italian tour here.
Well, I had just gotten done beating my wife and cleaned the sauce off my hands.
Also because I'm. Hey, non me ne rengio, tre notti.
All right, there you go. Michael having a little fun. All right,
It's
he
funny,
warmed
when
up.
I
a
saw
little.
you in person just now, I thought you look a little like my father.
I am your father. No.
Hey, all right, there's Mikey.
He's back.
He's back, baby.
You know who doesn't have fathers? Heyo.
Well, I could find the father, but
But you know,
They're like,
I'm so
Michael, no.
sorry.
He's like, I'm sorry. I'm terribly sorry.
I slip back up. I'll see you in 20 years.
listen, I don't. Am I answering the question?
did.
I mean, in
You
the
did.
sense
We
that
just wanted to know
I
what
tried, but it went to hell. It was heroic, horrific.
I took a step for white men that hasn't been taken since.
I was Barstool before Barstool.
I put these fellas in their place, for God's sake.
Apologize for it.
I have.
And
I
you've
have.
learned something from this, don't you?
Oh,
You've
indeed,
learned something.
indeed.
But let me ask you, Michael, do you still have that rage in you that you had that night?
Anger is still around. It doesn't go away. It's the color of my fur.
Well, let's
They
not
took
not
my-
use the word color.
They took my catalytic
what a choice
converter.
of words.
I went personal, and then I started seeing it collectively and the rage behind the
And
wars.
these
and I'm
people,
there in the club
percentage-wise,
making
fill most of our jails. I just couldn't contain it anymore.
Let me read you out some crime statistics here, panel.
war.
I said it. I said, it's one individual, but if you look at the numbers in Chicago, it's much more than that.
We all love Michael Jordan.
Those were big considerations for me
Comedy's not
after
pretty
that.
sometimes.
Yeah, well, it goes.
Well, you said
it
it,
can go
Joy.
into tragedy. Yeah.
Sometimes a guy screams the N-word in a pure rage. You said it, Joy.
You know, Joey, what a lot of people don't mention is how many laughs people got at my expense.
Hey, oh, good point.
That's right.
He supported comedy for like a year and a half just with being the butt of them. All right, that's our segments, Blind Mike. Congratulations.
Oh my God, guys! I appreciate you hanging on and spending your time with us today.
Yeah, we got a few super chats here. We'll get those in, and then we'll get some plugs, and we'll get Blind Mike out of here.
Beautiful.
All right, ready, DJ Electrify? There you go.
Dang Lizard says Michael Richards tried delusion by stuttering John and just yell, "It was a different time, you idiot losers." I was on the biggest sitcom of all times.
Yeah, there are multiple ways not to handle it, but
All right, and our final one for the day, unless one sneaks into the line. Come on, people, get in one under the line. Here you go.
And Dang Lizard again. How can he be that bad
Dang
at
Lizard.
explaining it?
Yes.
So
it was
true.
almost.
yeah, he's had 18 years to prepare for this.
Yeah, and he's laughing in the middle of it. I was dying.
And it's probably I'm sure he's thought about it every single day since then, is how he would respond if asked about this. And he's like, well, anger is a funny thing, isn't it? It flows through a man.